Welcome to your free online course in English grammar from Live and Learn. My name is Anjali. I hope you enjoy this lesson and you find it useful. If you do, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also if you know anybody else who might be interested in improving their English through learning English grammar, then please share this video with them. Okay. Let's move on to the lesson. Live and Learn free online course in English grammar. Lesson 23. Verbs, Part 10. Auxiliary verbs, Part 2. Conjugation of to be. Auxiliary verbs and tenses. The auxiliary verbs are to be, to have, and to do. It is very useful if people who are learning English know all the present, past, and future tenses of the auxiliary verbs, as that will make learning verb tenses for all verbs very easy. Auxiliary verbs are very important because they are used with all main lexical verbs when forming verb tenses. They are also called helping verbs. As well as helping main lexical verbs, they help each other to form tenses. To have and to be form most of the verb tenses and are used together in many of the tenses. To have and to do help other verbs to form negative tenses and interrogative tenses. All the verb tenses of the auxiliary verbs are given here. The shortened versions of the personal pronouns and verbs, contractions, are also given where they are applicable, so that you are aware of what they are. The contractions are used more in speech and informal writing than in formal writing. In fact, it is recommended that you do not use the contractions at all in any type of formal writing or business communication, as that may give an unprofessional impression. In this lesson, we will look at the conjugation of the auxiliary verb to be. Conjugation of to be. Infinitive, to be. Base verb equals be. Present participle equals being. Past participle equals being. Gerund equals being. 1. It is possibly the most important verb in the English language, as every other verb uses it to make tenses. 2. It is an irregular verb, so you just need to learn how it works in every tense. 3. To be is used to make the continuous or progressive tenses and the perfect continuous or progressive tenses in the present tense, past tense, and future tense for other verbs. 4. It is used to form the passive voice of a verb. 5. In the past, it was used to give orders. It is not really used like that very much now. Example: you are to do 50 press-ups before breakfast every day as part of your new health regime. This would now be expressed as, you must do 50 press-ups before breakfast every day as part of your new health regime. The conjugation of the auxiliary verb to be follows. Present tense. Simple present tense. Affirmative. I am, I'm. You are, you're. He is, she is. He's, she's. It is, it's. We are, we're. You are, you're. They are, there. They are there. Negative. I am not. I'm not. You are not. You aren't. He is not. She is not. He isn't. She isn't. It is not. It isn't. We are not. We aren't. You are not. You aren't. They are not. They aren't. They are not. They aren't. Interrogative. Am I? Are you? Is he? Is she? Is it? Are we? Are you? Are they? Are they? Present continuous or progressive tense. Affirmative. I am being. I'm being. You are being. You're being. He is being. She is being. He's being. She's being. It is being. It's being. We are being. We're being. You are being. You're being. They are being. They're being. They are being. They're being. Negative. I am not being. I'm not being. You are not being. You aren't being. He is not being. She is not being. He isn't being. She isn't being. It is not being. It isn't being. We are not being. We aren't being. You are not being. You aren't being. They are not being. They aren't being. They are not being. They aren't being. Interrogative. Am I being? Are you being? Is he being? Is she being? Is it being? Are we being? Are you being? Are they being? Are they being? Present perfect tense. Affirmative. I have been. I've been. You have been. You've been. He has been. She has been. He's been. She's been. It has been. It's been. We have been. We've been. You have been. You've been. They have been. They've been. They have been. They've been. Negative. I have not been. I haven't been. You have not been. You haven't been. He has not been. She has not been. He hasn't been. She hasn't been. It has not been. It hasn't been. We have not been. We haven't been. You have not been. You haven't been. They have not been. They haven't been. They have not been. They haven't been. Interrogative. Have I been? Have you been? Has he been? Has she been? Has it been? Have we been? Have you been? Have they been? Have they been? Present perfect continuous or progressive tense. The verb to be cannot be formed in the present perfect continuous tense. The way to express the meaning of the present perfect continuous tense when we use the verb to be is to use the present perfect tense. Example of correct usage. I have been being ill all week. This is an incorrect attempt to use the present perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be. I have been being ill all week is wrong. I have been ill all week. Correct. This is how to express the meaning of the present perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be by using the present perfect tense. Past tense. Simple past tense. Affirmative. I was, you were, he was, she was, it was. We were, you were, they were. Negative. I was not, I wasn't, you were not, you weren't. He was not, she was not, he wasn't, she wasn't. It was not, it wasn't. We were not, we weren't. You were not, you weren't. They were not, they weren't. They were not, they weren't. Interrogative. Was I? Were you? Was he? Was she? Was it? Were we? Were you? Were they? Were they? Past continuous or progressive tense. Affirmative. I was being, you were being, he was being, she was being, it was being. We were being, you were being, they were being, they were being. Negative. I was not being, I wasn't being. You were not being, you weren't being. He was not being, she was not being. He wasn't being, she wasn't being. It was not being, it wasn't being. We were not being, we weren't being. You were not being, you weren't being. They were not being, they weren't being. They were not being, they weren't being. Interrogative. Was I being? Were you being? Was he being? Was she being? Was it being? Were we being? Were you being? Were they being? Were they being? Past perfect tense. Affirmative. I had been. I'd been. You had been. You'd been. He had been. She had been. He'd been. She'd been. It had been. It had been. We had been. We'd been. You had been. You'd been. They had been. They'd been. They had been. They'd been. Negative. I had not been. I hadn't been. You had not been. You hadn't been. He had not been. She had not been. He hadn't been. She hadn't been. It had not been. It hadn't been. We had not been. We hadn't been. You had not been. You hadn't been. They had not been. They hadn't been. They had not been. They hadn't been. Interrogative. Had I been? Had you been? Had he been? Had she been? Had it been? Had we been? Had you been? Had they been? Had they been? Past perfect continuous or progressive tense. The verb to be cannot be formed in the past perfect continuous tense. Example of correct usage. I had been travelling for months, and it was good to be back home. Incorrect attempt to use the past perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be. I had been travelling is wrong. I had been travelling for months and it was good to be back home. Correct. This is how to express the meaning of the past perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be by using the past perfect tense. Future tense. Simple future tense. Affirmative. I will be. I'll be. You will be. You'll be. He will be. She will be. He'll be. She'll be. It will be. It'll be. We will be. We'll be. You will be. You'll be. They will be. They'll be. They will be. They'll be. Negative. I will not be. I won't be. You will not be. You won't be. He will not be. She will not be. He won't be. She won't be. It will not be. It won't be. We will not be. We won't be. You will not be. You won't be. They will not be. They won't be. They will not be. They won't be. Interrogative. Will I be? Will you be? Will he be? Will she be? Will it be? Will we be? Will you be? Will they be? Will they be? Future continuous or progressive tense. The verb to be cannot be formed in this tense. The simple future tense is used to express the meaning of the future continuous tense. Example of correct usage. I will be being at home tonight. Incorrect attempt to use the future continuous or progressive tense of to be. I will be being at home tonight is incorrect. I will be at home tonight. Correct. This is how to express the meaning of the future continuous or progressive tense of to be by using the simple future tense. Future perfect tense. Affirmative. I will have been. I'll have been. You will have been. You'll have been. He will have been. She will have been. He'll have been. She'll have been. It will have been. It'll have been. We will have been. We'll have been. You will have been. You'll have been. They will have been. They'll have been. They will have been. They'll have been. Negative. I will not have been. I won't have been. You will not have been. You won't have been. He will not have been. She will not have been. He won't have been. She won't have been. It will not have been. It won't have been. We will not have been. We won't have been. You will not have been. You won't have been. They will not have been. They won't have been. They will not have been. They won't have been. Interrogative. Will I have been? Will you have been? Will he have been? Will she have been? Will it have been? Will we have been? Will you have been? Will they have been? Will they have been? Future perfect continuous or progressive tense. The verb to be cannot be formed in this tense. The future perfect tense is used to express the meaning of the future perfect continuous tense. Example of correct usage. I will have been being a doctor for 3 years by the end of this month. Incorrect attempt to use the future perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be. I will have been being is wrong. I will have been a doctor for 3 years by the end of this month. Correct. This is how to express the meaning of the future perfect continuous or progressive tense of to be by using the future perfect tense. Well done! You have completed this lesson. If you enjoyed the lesson and you found it useful, please do like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you know anyone who is also interested in improving their command of English by learning English grammar, please share this video lesson with them. If you would like to buy the Live and Learn English Grammar textbook, you can buy it as an ebook or as a paperback from the Amazon website that serves your country of residence. There are some links in the description box below the video. The book does go deeper into aspects of grammar, and it also contains exercises with answers so you can monitor your own progress. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.